What is going on, team? In this video, we are going to look at 3 kettlebell movements that we can do to help improve our shoulder mobility and help make that joint feel nice and stable for all of our training. Whether we are using weightlifting techniques and we're trying to improve our weightlifting, whether we're doing more gymnastics or whether we're doing a bit of everything, having healthy shoulders is a really, really important factor to keep us training for longer, keep us committed to our programming and keeping us injury free. Each of these movements you can perform before workouts, kind of like a primer, kind of like a priming set that you can use with lighter weights to get you ready for your lifting, for your gymnastics, or you can start using these as standalone movements and you can start building up the weight, you can start building up the capacity and the load that you're able to take through the joint. That is entirely up to you. Give them a go at a lighter weight and see how you get on with them. You might want to start at a lighter weight, build up to a weight that you feel is more acceptable. Fellas, there are going to be some movements in here that you might be getting humbled by. What we want to do is get to a point where we can get a nice full range of movement through that shoulder joint. We can start building up the strength and we can start making it feel more stable and secure. The first movement that we are going to do is going to be a half kneeling windmill. There is a progression on this which is a full windmill, but I've started with a half kneeling windmill as something that we can all do. If it's really comfortable, then go ahead and research a full windmill and see if you can get that movement pattern right. After that, we're going to look at an arm bar. Again, we're going to go for a half arm bar rather than getting us all the way over and almost getting our chest to the floor. We're kind of going to come halfway and we're going to focus on keeping that shoulder nice and stable and keeping that weight in the right position throughout the movement. And then the last one then we're going to use is a kettlebell halo. This is a really good movement, really good movement for a primer, but it's also a good movement for keeping that joint nice and healthy and keeping it moving throughout everything that we're doing. Like I said, each of these movements you can do as a primer or in a standalone workout. Give this video a watch. Any questions, please drop them in the comments or head over to my Instagram and drop me a DM and I'll be happy to help.
First, what we're going to do our kneeling windmill. So, as mentioned, you can do this as stood up, and you can do this between both legs stood up. But we're going to do this kneeling to start with, as it's more accessible to everyone, and it's kind of a good place to start as well. As you'll see, when I switch over to my left arm, it is a lot harder than it looks. What we're looking to do here, though, is keep our eye on the kettlebell the whole time. And as you can see, as we're leaning forward, we're rotating that shoulder round. And we're putting that rotation in here. So this is my left arm, as you can see, a little bit harder on this side. What we're trying to do, like I say, is really focus on keeping that arm locked out nice and straight above us and rotating the shoulder as we go down towards to touch our feet. So again, like I mentioned, this could be a primer or you can use this to build up your strength in your shoulders. The next one we're going to do is a shoulder arm bar. So we're going to be laid flat on the floor. We're going to bring the same arm at the same leg as we have the arm. We're going to bring that over and across. Again, keeping that arm nice and straight, looking up at the kettlebell the whole time, and then rotating the shoulder round as we move our body over and across. As we go back to that start position, I'm resetting my shoulder so the shoulder goes all the way back down to the floor, and then going again and moving through it. Again, from the other side, so the same knee comes up, we move over and across, we use our core to twist our body round, and as we come back down, we reset that shoulder and we go again. So we're only going for a half arm bar. You can push this movement and you can go further round and you can use your chest a little bit more if so get further round onto your chest if you can, but again, this is a bit more accessible. It's a good one to use, and you're still going to get that rotation in the shoulder, and you're still going to be looking at improving that shoulder mobility. And then the last one then we're going to do is halos. So we're going to hold the kettlebell with the bottom facing up, and what we're trying to do is rotate that kettlebell around our head as close as we can. So as you can see, it's actually lifting up my hair as I'm going around. I'm keeping that forearm nice and close to my to the top of my head, and keep moving through that, keeping the rotation in, and just making sure that the shoulders are moving, and I'm getting good amount of movement whilst keeping it as close and under control as possible.